Okay, ask your question again loud so that they can hear you on the recording.
When is the test?
When is the test? Okay, that's a really good question. The computer test starts tomorrow. The written test will be Thursday in class. So they won't let me close it on Friday. I'm sorry, I don't know why. So you have to take it tomorrow or Thursday. And as I said before we started recording, today is your lucky day. Okay. So as I was looking, I would normally start chapter 13.1 today, but 13, we're slightly ahead, which I can't believe. Usually we're behind, but we're slightly ahead of where I thought we needed to be. 13.1 is there's a lot of calculations. And 13.2 really relates to 13.1, and I'm not going to have time to cover 13.2 today, although I did bring my notes just in case, but I'm not going to. And because we're kind of ahead, what I thought we could do today is have a review. How about that? Okay? So just kind of a schedule of things for next week. We'll cover 13.1 on Monday, 13.2 on Tuesday, 14.1 on Wednesday, 14.2 on Thursday. Those are really a lot of calculations. And so I'm going to save those for the final exam. Those will definitely be on the final exam, as well as all the other stuff.
Is tomorrow going to be a review?
So tomorrow is going to be a review. We're going to have a 2-day review. What? So you better do good on this test, okay? We're saving the hard stuff for the next test, okay? So yeah, we're going to make today a review. So actually, I have a good idea. We might treat this as a little bit of a different review, but go ahead.
So chapter 13 and 14 are going to be on the finals.
They will definitely be on the final, as well as all the other chapters.
Are we going to have another test before the final? After
No. So next week we'll cover chapters 13 and 14. The following week, the entire week is just going to be one big long review. And in fact, I'm kind of working on the fly today. What we may do today is do some scenarios. Okay. So I have these wonderful scenarios that basically, because you know what's the hardest part of the last 2 tests? Which test do I pick, right? So I've got some scenarios. Well, let me open it up to you. I might save those for tomorrow. Either today or tomorrow we'll do some scenarios. The idea is I'm going to give you a situation. You have to tell me which kind of a test you're supposed to pick, whether the hypotheses you should pick, and then we'll talk about conclusions, because some of you are still struggling with the conclusions. It always bugs me when somebody does all the math right and then they get the conclusion backwards. It's like, come on. Okay, so, but let me open it up for you. We're going to make this just a review day, and if you don't have any questions, I'm more than happy to do some scenarios, which are going to be super helpful, not only for this test, but also for the final. And in fact, these will be some quiz questions. Probably the last week of class, though. But yes, Sean.
I was wondering if we could go over like one problem from each chapter.
One problem from each chapter?
I don't know if
We could do that.
I like the scenarios better.
You like scenarios better? Yeah. Because we got tomorrow to also.
we just don't tell us the chapter that you're going to take the problem from.
You know what we could do, because I should really give you a quiz tomorrow. Tell you what we're going to do. We'll do some scenarios today, and then how about we do your idea tomorrow? That work? All right. So I've got these scenarios here. I'll see if I can post these. I don't know if I have them. Where are we here? Okay. The thing that I love about these, there might be probably 1 or 2 that you haven't learned yet, but you've probably learned most of these by now. Let me share this screen. And in fact, here's what I will say. I'm going to try to do different scenarios in my 9 o'clock class so you can see how those work. Okay? So you can watch 2 recordings for the price of 1. How's that? All right. So let's just start with scenario number 1. Now, the one thing that I will tell you about this is there's often not enough information in these problems to actually solve it. The purpose of this is to say, which test do you pick and what are the hypotheses? And then I might make up just some sort of a p-value and say, do you reject or not reject? So, all right, so here we go. Cyrus has the job of quality control manager. Oh yeah, it would help. Then you could read it. Okay, Cyrus has the job, just in case. I don't even think we're going to need the board today, but we'll see. Has a job of quality control for a local food chain called Food Giant. His sister Melanie has the same job for a competing chain, which is called Megamart. Cyrus claims that Food Giant gets better delivery times than Megamart on deliveries from Mills Food on their dry goods products. Cyrus and Melanie each select 45 deliveries from Mills Food to their respective stores over the past 6 months and determine the time from order placement to delivery receipt. They want to compare the average delivery times. Which hypothesis test should they use? Now, before you answer that question, let's kind of go through most of our 7 steps, okay? Now, can we tell here, actually before we do that, does our sample size seem big enough to do this?
Yeah.
Okay? Yes, Trevin, because why?
It's greater than 30.
It's greater than 35. Now, greater than 30. Maybe we should ask the other question before we ask about sample size. Is this categorical, quantitative, or regression? It's quantitative. And so the rule for quantitative data is what, as far as sample size is concerned? N is greater than or equal to 30. And is this greater than or equal to 30? Yes, we got 45, right? Okay. So maybe we should ask the categorical before we pick our sample size, because we might pick the wrong. Because I did notice on the last test, some of you picked the wrong rule on sample size.
So if it's categorical, it's always NPQ?
It's categorical, well, not always. It's often NPQ. It could be also, like if it's an independence test, it's not NPQ, what is it? It's not 30. For an independence test? Nope, not greater than 10. The independence test was what we did on the quiz today.
It's a table?
It's a table, so you're going to have a table.
Oh, and all equals 1.
You can't have any cells that are 0, and no more than 25% of the cells are less than 5. Is that the observed or the expected?
Observed.
The expected. It's the expected. The observed could be less than, but it's the expected that matters. Okay? So we've got a few different rules there. So we're going to ask that question, categorical, quantitative, or regression. Based on that, then you can probably do your sample size. Yes?
And if you say that it's normally distributed, do we not even have to worry about doing it?
If we say it's normally distributed, then your N doesn't really matter.
So we don't have to put that.
Technically, you could get away with an N of 1, but I don't know anybody who would. Okay? All right. Okay, so that brings up another point. So if that question comes up on the test, like say you have an N of 10, but you know it's normally distributed, and I ask you, is the sample size large enough? What should be your answer? If it's normally distributed, the N doesn't matter. Okay? You probably still would like 30 if you can. But. All right. Now, so we know it's quantitative, it's quantitative. Okay, what's our next question? You can either do the test or you can do the null and the alternative. Those steps are kind of interchangeable. Victor, I'll let you pick. Which one would you like to do? You want to do the hypotheses? Okay, so the null and the alternative are what? Actually, I think the test was a little easier, but if you want to go there, you can. The test would have been a better way to go, but it's okay. What's your null and your alternative?
No, would be the alternative or the average time series equals.
Victor's turn.
I didn't hear it. Sound like,
It's a good thing it was quiet.
Mu
Mu
equal, better percentage.
a percentage.
Yeah.
So some percentage.
And
The alternative.
the alternative is would be mu. I would say bigger than some percentage.
Bigger than some percentage. Okay. Should we vote and see who agrees with Victor? Nobody? Who disagrees with Victor? Only one person disagrees with you. Okay, what do you think, Sean?
What?
The rest of you are all wimps, right? It's either agree or disagree here. It's a binomial, right? No, just kidding. Sean, what do you think?
Well, comparing two different people driving, so I do like the mu 1 equals mu 2.
So you think it should be mu1. Here, maybe I'll do it. Here, we'll do it this way. Mu1 equals mu2.
Oh, I see.
And the alternative, or instead of saying mu1, let's say mu food giant equals mu megamart. Okay, just to be a little more specific. Okay, and the alternative would be
They don't equal.
mu food giant does not equal mu mega. You got two choices. Did you change your mind, Victor?
Well,
Okay, let's vote again because only one person actually voted it. Victor didn't even vote for his own. Okay.
I didn't know I can vote for mine.
Of course you can. Okay, so who thinks Victor is still correct? Victor, you don't even think so?
I'm gonna.
Okay, well, we're
stay
good.
with my
You're
belief.
going to stay with it. Okay. Who thinks Sean is correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That was a better vote. Okay. Who thinks it did something else? A third option. Oh, Bryce, what do you got?
Would it be
Here, we're going to have to.
alternative greater than?
Oh, so let's see. So if Cyrus claims that Food Giant gets better delivery times, is Food Giant greater or less than? Better delivery times would be faster, right? So less than. Okay, so you're changing this to a less than. I'll just do it that way. Oh, nice wrinkle there. So you were like, he was correct on the null, he's incorrect on the alternative. Okay? That's actually a better answer, okay? Now, the question is, here, I'm going to change it because that's a better answer. Do you see that better now, Sean? Okay? Yeah, better delivery times means it's going to happen faster. You're going to get faster deliveries. Okay, now, does somebody think it's something else? Okay. So, the answer is, Sean was almost right. Bryce was righter. Okay? Okay, very good. All right, so why is it there's no percentage in there, right?
Well, so a quick question.
Okay.
Would it be better to do this as a two-tailed because we want to know if one is better as compared to the other one? Would it be better to run this
Oh,
as a
so you're
two-tailed?
saying, well, what if Megamart's actually faster?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in real life, I would say, yeah, you're going to do a two-tailed, but based on the wording of this, the wording says one-tailed.
Okay.
But in real life, I'd probably do a two-tailed, because what if Cyrus was exactly wrong, exactly backwards, and his was longer? The two-tailed is the better way to go. Based on the wording of the problem, this is a one-tailed test. Okay, question?
So would the test that we run would be a two-test?
Oh, that's where we were going next, okay? All right, so before we do that, and in fact, I would argue that before you're doing the known, the alternative, you should pick your test first on this one, okay? So let's talk about the four main types of tests, and then we'll narrow it down. It sounds like Tyler thinks he knows what it is. So is it a z, a t, a chi-square, or an f? So who says z? One. Who says t? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Who says chi-square? Nobody? Who says f? One f? Okay, so we'll go with the v-test. No, just kidding. We'll go with a t-test. Now, why is it a t-test? We're not given the standard deviation. It's got to be a t-test, right? Okay, so now we've got a one sample t, a two sample t, or a paired t. Okay? Those are our three t-tests, right? That's all we know so far. We're going to learn some more, but that's all we know so far. That'll be next week. Okay, so who says it's a one sample t? Nobody? One? Okay. Who says it's two sample t? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Ooh, we got a good majority there. Who says it's a paired t? Nobody? You guys always mix up the paired t and the two sample t. I can't believe it. But yes, Tyler was right. This is a two sample t. Okay? Why is it a two sample t and not a paired t? Couldn't you take Food Giant Delivery 1 versus Mega Mart Delivery 1? And Food Giant Delivery 2 versus Mega Mart Delivery 2? Couldn't you do that? Why not, Charles? They're going, oh, very good. Different distances. Yeah, they probably are going different distances, in fact. Okay? They are independent. Okay? Now, you had a question, Ashley. Paired would be dependent, that's correct. Okay? Yeah, we're assuming that these are independent. In fact, if you want to put that, independent, and the paired would be the dependent. Okay, so it's a two sample t independent. Okay, so we've got to know the alternative. So when we run our test, we would have data. Oh, are we out of time already? We only did one scenario? Holy cow. All right, that's because we're voting too much. But it's good for you guys to think. Okay, so let's say that we get a p-value equals 0.03. Okay, we do all our tests, we have our data here, we get a p-value of 0.03. Let's pick on Mr. Garrick. I can't remember your first name for some reason. Jake. Jake, reject or don't reject? Are you sure? No? Okay, so Jake says reject. Who agrees with Jake? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Who disagrees? 1. Jake was correct, even though he wasn't sure. Okay? How do you know whether to reject or to not reject? Is your p-value lower than your alpha? I didn't give you an alpha, so what are we assuming? 0.05. Is 0.03 lower than 0.05? Yes, that means reject. So Jenna, you're going to give us the conclusion. Better delivery times than Megamart. Okay? You guys agree with her? Who agrees? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Who disagrees? Okay, study with Jenna. All right. Okay, so see you all tomorrow. Should I give you one of these? I'm going to give you a scenario. Here's tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to post them, but I'm not going to give you any answers. I'm going to pick 1 or 2 scenarios for your quiz tomorrow. Okay?
How many are
And
there?
we'll do something. There's like 50. There's a bunch. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. Okay? So I'll post this. It'll be in the announcements.
Thank you.
And we'll use these during finals week also.
So the scenario would just be on the stuff that's on this test.